Tag 3. Day 3. So. Wo stehen, junger Mann? Gucken nochmal im Spiegel. Vielleicht vielleicht ist mir ja über Nacht ein Bart gewachsen. Nee. Alles noch wie vorher. Berühren schon wieder? Nee, das hatte ich ja. Das hatte ich ja. Guten Morgen, guten Morgen. Ah ja, ich muss schon wieder nach Lissie schreien.
Where are you?
Right up the stairs, Teddy.
Okay, geh mal die Treppe hoch.
Teddy?
Ja, ich komme ja
Is that
schon.
you?
Ja. Hey, ich bin ja schon da. Hier auf dem Balkon? Nö. Wo ist die denn? Da sind so viele Türen. Muss ich die jetzt hier suchen oder wie? Ich ruf nochmal, ne?
Alice!
In here.
Ach, da drin ist sie. Gut. Guten Morgen, hast du geschlafen?
This is her room. Are you paying attention? Ruth,
Ja, ich weiß. Ich war hier schon drinne.
can you imagine? One moment you're living a perfectly happy life, and then nothing. Darkness. Forever and ever. Maybe there's something here that can tell us what happened to her.
Ja.
This is a waste of my time.
We might be the only ones left to tell her story, Edward.
You're just being melodramatic.
Ich habe das eigentlich schon alles gemacht.
I'll help you
egal.
look.
Ich muss es dir jetzt auch erklären. Oh, sie lächelt. Siehst du? Mich lächelt sie an.
There's still no sign of the Fretlands.
Maybe they left town after Ruth died.
What's the point of this? I should be looking for Betty.
I hate you sometimes.
Oh, oh. Das war aber nicht nett. Also, wir gucken uns nochmal die Bilder an, ne? Wir wissen jetzt ein bisschen mehr, also können uns so einiges mehr vorstellen, sagen wir mal so.
Ruth was an artist.
This is very primitive.
Have you ever met a child, Edward? She wasn't Monet, she was 8. This must be the village church.
Mhm.
That's Ruth and her family on one side of the aisle, Simon and his father on the other.
The community divided.
Mhm. Also gut, das ist der, also auf der rechten Seite sind wir jetzt Simon und sein Vater. Mit der Mutter. Da links das kleine Mädchen und ihre Vater und Mutter. Naja, Zwillingsbruder und Zwillingsbruder. Gucken ja auch beide böse. Ja. Und jetzt ist mir gerade was runtergefallen. Jetzt gucke ich wieder weg. Jetzt wird hier uns zu den Bildern auch ein bisschen was erzählt. Schauen wir mal hier das Bild an.
She found something.
Where's that supposed to be?
A cave. Or the...
Mine. It could be. But what did she find?
something important enough to draw.
Ich habe, glaube ich, schon wieder eine Art. Aber ich sag's lieber nicht. Vermute mal, vielleicht hat sie was in der Mine gefunden, was sehr, sehr wertvoll war. Oder versteckt hat. Ja, dass die da alle durchdrehen. Irgendwie so. Jetzt schaue ich mir mal das an hier.
That must be Ruth and Simon's fathers.
Perhaps. They weren't on the best of terms.
They look like they want to kill each other.
To a child, maybe it looked worse than it was.
Children are more insightful than you give them credit for, Teddy Bear.
Wie ich schon sagte. Hier noch, ach ja, das Buch. Das haben wir uns nicht angucken können letztes Mal. Da war es noch zugeklappt.
Draugen.
Hey, the undead monster from those folk tales you read.
What an odd book for a child to have.
I don't know. Children love scary stories. This looks interesting. Read some of it to me, please.
Jo, warum nicht? Warum ist das?
In Norwegian folklore, the appearance of Draugen, the reanimated corpse of a drowned mariner, heralds death. Draugen haunts the Black Seas in a shattered boat. The beast has a man's body and wears a sou'wester. But instead of a head, there is tangled seaweed, and the revenant's chilling cry freezes mortal blood to ice. Draugen has the power to enter the dreams of the living. If you wake from such a dream, you have been spared, though someone close to you... That's enough of that. It's nonsense, of course. Not something a child should be reading.
Do you think Draugen took our boat? Maybe he's out there, on the fjord, waiting for nightfall so he can return to shore.
No.
Your soul lacks poetry, Edward Charles Haugen. I pity you.
Naja, vielleicht hat ja das hier mit der Saga irgendwie was zu tun, ja, mit diesem Draugen, mit diesem Monster hier. Liegt ja noch was auf dem Boden. Sonst heißt das Spiel ja nicht Draugen. Hier ist noch was.
Ruth never finished this. What does that spell? F-O-R-B.
For Banelson. The curse.
Who's that figure supposed to be? It's creepy. It looks a bit like the Draugen in her book.
A figment of her imagination. But the box she drew...
Ja.
It looks like this box under her desk.
Really? Let me see. Pull it out.
Das ist bestimmt die Truhe, die sie da in der Mine gefunden hat. Öffnen, oder?
What is this?
I believe this might qualify as actual treasure.
Is that Norwegian money?
Sort of, but ancient. Viking coins.
Are they valuable?
Not in terms of monetary value, but historically. They belong in a museum.
Looks like Ruth had her own private museum.
Why would a child have these artifacts?
She must have enjoyed collecting and playing with them.
These are much too precious to play with. She should have given these to an adult.
She was a child, Edward. To her, they were just shiny toys. Wait! The pin! On the doll!
This is where it came from, her collection.
But where did she find these treasures?
If we're to believe her drawing, perhaps the mine. She may have found a gravesite. Wherever she found them, she wanted to keep them hidden.
You think someone found out?
These items wouldn't necessarily be worth much, except to a historian or archaeologist.
What if this is how... I mean, if someone learned she'd been collecting treasures, they might be willing to do terrible things. There's a story here. The treasure box, the drawings.
The overactive mind of an imaginative child.
She didn't imagine the Viking artifacts. You shouldn't be so dismissive. The drawings could be her way of dealing with traumatic events.
This is what happens when I read you the principles of psychology. You get notions.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Ruth was troubled. The village was troubled, and... Is that a bell?
Das war nur die
Church
Ziege.
bell. Someone's here. Maybe... Betty.
Why would Betty ring the church bell?
Perhaps she's in trouble. I need to get to the church right now.
Wait, isn't it more likely to be the person you saw the other night? We should be careful.
I told you, I'm not sure that was anything. Come on.
Go ahead. I'll catch up with you before you get there. I need a minute to think about
kann
all
ich
of
schon.
this.
Oder
Do you see anyone?
They must be inside the church.
Ja, dann rufen wir mal dahin. Ist auch wieder etwas nebliger. Jetzt wird es langsam auch wirklich interessant, aber ich. Ja, hier habe ich ja gezeigt, hier habe ich Klavier gespielt. Nee, jetzt müssen wir zur Kirche. Was ist in der Kirche? Was geht da ab? Wer klingelt da? Ist das die Ziege? Oder wer ist das? Ist es Betty? Ist es Ruth? Ne? Klingt jetzt aber komisch. Ist es Simon? Wer ist das? Ein Geist. Ist es Draugen? Komm, ich erst mal da hoch. Erstmal hier runter. Ah ja, stimmt. Erstmal hier runter. Komm gleich. Wartet. Wo ist Lissie?
Where are you?
I'm up at the farm.
Ja, dann komm doch mal. Ich muss zur Kirche. Bin aufgeregt. Kann ich jetzt eigentlich in diesen... hier rein? Nee, ich war ja schon drin. Stimmt. War ja der Wind. Ist sie jetzt immer noch auf dem Hof?
Where are you?
I'm up at the farm.
Sag mal, kommst du mal? Ist sie immer noch auf dem Hof? Ich bin da gleich an der Kirche. Oh, Weiber. Ja, ich komme ja schon. Ja. Ich rufe mal von da oben nochmal. Die schreit mir bestimmt immer noch in Kilometer entgegen, dass sie noch immer noch auf dem Hof ist, ja. Und wenn ich da ankomme, auf einmal ist er neben mir.
Lissie?
I'm up at the farm.
Was? Bist du leise? Ich verstehe dich nicht. Ich dich mehr. Ich bin gleich in der Kirche. Ah.
Lissie?
Ach. Wir sind nicht mehr am Hof. Ah.
All these fresh graves. Do you think that maybe...
Das hat die doch schon mal gesagt.
I'd know.
But
You wouldn't understand. Elizabeth and I, we have a bond.
God, Edward. Your obsession with her is really starting to grate.
Bist du denn immer so böse? Wollen wir jetzt weiter? Wir müssen ja irgendwie hier rein, ne?
No one's touched these since yesterday. Regardless of how they got past the boards, there's someone in there.
Who did this?
Someone who'd lost their faith.
Gone fishing?
God is not here.
Ja, das
Well,
hatten wir auch
of
schon
course
mal.
he isn't. You won't find God in a church. God is the wind in the trees, the grass between your toes, the brook that runs.
That's
Ja, ja, ja.
nature, not God.
Richtig,
Can you
ey.
peek through the
Wird
boards?
mir richtig sympathisch stecken. Das ist nämlich die Natur und nicht Gott, richtig. Ja, da brauchst du ja nicht zu kicken. Wie komme ich denn jetzt? Wie gucke ich denn jetzt? Was mache ich denn jetzt? Was tue ich denn jetzt? Hilfe! Klingelt da. Muss ja hier irgendwie... Hier durch. Hä? Nee, ich wollte ja hier rin. Aber bin ich jetzt doof? Ja, hier ist die Tür. So. Und nun?
It must be her ringing the bell. It must be Betty.
We'll soon find out.
Das kann er endlich schauen. Ach, das war ein
See anyone?
Kronleuchter.
No,
Listen! The bell! They're still in there!
Ach wie.
Hello? I heard the bell.
This is giving me
I'm
the
here to help.
heebie-jeebies.
These boards look flimsy enough to break.
Und los. Mach's mit deinen Händen. Jetzt ist es wieder schwarz. Warum? War wohl...
Look at that. The ethyl that comes
Sorry,
from
Schnell.
Edward. I didn't think you had it in you, old fruit.
Be quiet.
Gut.
Betty?
Ja.
Are you here? Hello? This is Edward Harden. I'm looking for my sister, Elizabeth.
Stop shouting, Edward. We're alone. There are only ghosts here.
There are no ghosts.
What's this rope for?
The bell.
Dann hätten wir den doch gesehen, oder die, oder was auch immer.
This is the bell we heard ringing?
I don't see any other bells.
So you have to stand here and pull this rope to ring it.
Yes.
But there was no one here.
Ja,
You
eben.
didn't see anyone, right?
No. No one.
Ghosts. I'm telling you, it's ghosts. So what happened to the hunchback of Grovik?
They must be here still. There's only the one exit.
Maybe it was the wind.
A church bell's too heavy. It can't have been the
Oder das,
wind.
oder,
I mean,
oder das
I
war
don't know.
Gott.
Maybe it was the wind. There's no one here. Lissie, look. Betty's gloves.
So, ja.
They are definitely Betty's.
Oh, for
She got
Pete's
these
sake.
in Boston before she left for New York. She bought them at Woolworth. I remember the day she... She's here.
Where? And why would she leave her clothes lying around? It doesn't make sense.
Breadcrumbs. She's sending me a message. She knew I'd recognize her gloves, her hat. She's left a trail for me to follow, like Ariadne's red thread.
We're not in a
Betty
labyrinth.
will have left more crumbs.
Betty, you're turning into such a pill.
Meckert die denn immer? Meine Güte, ich bin Psychologe, ich weiß schon, was ich tue. So.
What happened here?
The sign on the door. God is not here. Their faith was challenged, and it didn't survive.
Ja, gut, wo fangen wir dann am besten an? Wir machen erstmal hier das Buch, ja? Die Bibel.
The church book, a record of births and
Also,
deaths.
So we can find out what happened to the people in the village?
And, Elizabeth. I mean, if she was dead,
Her name would be in the book.
vandals. They tore it to pieces.
I don't think the missing pages left the church. Look,
ah, da ist er. Gutes Auge.
how many pages are missing?
I counted 4.
They're probably all still here. I know. Let's make it a competition. 1-0 to Team Me.
Immer mit der Ruhe. So, hier ist ein Tischchen, ja. Und Ordnung.
They considered this a sacred place. For them to destroy it. This was an act of desperation and anger.
Hier hängt Manfred.
Jesus looks sad.
What reason would Jesus have to be happy?
Don't be blasphemous.
Given that this is all fiction, blasphemy is a contradiction.
Heretic.
Leser.
I've never seen you read the Bible before.
I've read the Bible many times. It's an important historical document. For
Same.
he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Did you just translate that into Olden English?
I happen to know the verse by heart.
You still manage to surprise me sometimes.
Bibel ist ein Geschichtenbuch. Ja. Also praktisch wie ein Märchenbuch. Aufheben.
I wanted you to find that one. I know what a rotten loser you are.
Naja, ich bin halt hier. Kann ich das eigentlich
Found another
lesen?
one. You get it.
Oh,
It's
oder?
right here.
Ach, da oben.
What are you doing? We're in a church.
Thought you didn't believe in God.
I do believe in civility.
Bedank dich bei ihr, dass sie das hm? Ja, pass auf, dass du nicht runterfällst, ja. Tipp. Top. Ja. So.
Just one more page missing.
Nur noch eine Seite. Das sind Kerzen. Noch eine. Hier wird bestimmt nichts sein. Vielleicht oben. Kerzen.
Isn't this a fire hazard?
They're not always lit. Each candle represents a single prayer.
That's a lot of prayers.
There were a lot of deaths.
Hier sind sie alle beim Armbrotessen. Da drüben mit dem Heiligenschein ist der Manfred von Jesu. Der daneben schlägt ein. Der da lästert über den anderen und die begrabbeln sich. Personen.
The final dinner.
The Last Supper. Who taught you about the New Testament?
I pick up on things. Most folks aren't heathens, like you.
Heiden. Das ist doch das letzte Stück. Yeah.
2 for 2. A tie. Good job, Teddy, old
Stop,
bean.
Lissie. This is not a game. Betty's out there.
Of horse feathers. Stop being so gosh darn tedious, Edward. Biddy, biddy, biddy. Will you ever shut up about your precious Betty?
Ja, sei vorsichtig.
Put those pages back in the book, and I'll stop trying to cheer you up.
So, erstmal lesen wir hier.
What's that?
The last sermon that was held here.
What does it say?
The vicar's handwriting is hard to decipher, and the language. He talks about the village being divided for 20 years. This sermon was held on the anniversary of the accident this past summer. He's asking the congregation to help heal old wounds, to forgive, move on. Something to the effect of, you sit in separate aisles in God's house.
Like Ruth's drawing. I told you, she was perceptive.
Achso, halt, stopp. Oh Gott.
Tilly varandra.
Edward?
Forgive each other. It addresses Johann and Frederick directly. But I wonder if they were even here.
Remember the wedding picture? They were close friends once.
Oh.
How could they allow their grudge to escalate until...
You call each other traitors, but the only thing you've betrayed are the bonds that unite us.
Teilung.
It sounds like Grovik was split in two, between those who stood by Johann and those who supported Frederick.
Because of Ruth?
The sermon is from before that. No, this is all about the preceding 20 years of division and disagreements.
Und der Fluch.
Here's something else. Many of you believe Grovik was cursed 20 years ago. God has not cursed you. This curse is of your own making.
Ruth's drawing mentioned a curse. What do you think that means?
It means they believed they were cursed, and that they needed something or someone to blame for their misfortune.
Oh. Und wer hat jetzt die Glocke geklingelt? Achso, ich muss ja zum Buch. Haha. Ja, ich muss jetzt Seiten näher einfügen. Ach nee, war ja beim anderen Buch. Zurück. Wir müssen ja wieder... Hier war... So schick.
This book goes back years. It lists births and deaths. Here's the third Fretland brother, the one who died in the cave-in. Someone added the word for Banelson, probably quite recently.
What does that mean again?
Curse. That word is all over this book. Not just the men who died in the mine, but other deaths in the last 20 years.
Ruth's drawing and the sermon both mentioned a curse. What do you think it means?
I don't know. There were surprisingly few births.
Perhaps they blame that on the curse as well.
Look here. Ruth Elsa Fretland. She was buried in the cemetery. And the next entry, Simon Fretland. Now this is interesting.
Simon is dead? Oh, that's dreadful.
He drowned the day after Ruth died. Probably no coincidence. See what's scribbled next to it?
Mord?
Murder.
Who killed him? Ruth's father? Or the mob that trashed the store?
It doesn't say. After the children, a half-dozen deaths in a single week.
The curse.
It's listed as the cause for every single death.
Maybe there really was a curse.
Primitive superstition. But something changed after Ruth and Simon. It might explain why there's no one around.
Edward, if it killed everyone, how's that not a curse? What does that word say? Next to those names at the bottom. Traitor.